Welcome back. Today we are recapping a 2025 movie titled G20. Inside a church in Budapest, a lady is set to trade a crypto wallet for a specific amount when the buyer insists on verifying the wallet's legitimacy before handing her the agreed upon amount, but the lady insists that wasn't the first condition before bringing the wallet. When she discovers that the buyer is a fraud, she attacks him with a slate and flees. She is quickly pursued by the buyer's thugs through the streets. Fortunately, she is able to escape the men and enter a pub. Inside, a man recognizes her and promptly kills her to steal the cryptocurrency wallet. Meanwhile, at the U.S. President's building in Washington, the president is upset with her 18-year-old daughter, who is very adept with computers but ends up breaching the White House security system to go out to party. As a result, the president seizes all of her devices. In a news conference, the president declares that the world's 20 richest countries will convene in South Africa to address the worldwide food crisis. To address this, they will provide a digital currency to help local farmers gain simple access to products and relieve tension, as they do not have access to banking systems like those in the United States. When the press began to interrogate the president, one of them asks how she can be trusted with the country's security if her daughter was able to hack into the system and sneak out of the White House undetected. After hearing this, President Danielle simply exits the podium. During supper, Danielle informs her children, Serena and Demetrius, that they will accompany her to South Africa for the summit. Serena, her daughter, objected, claiming that she is constantly trying to make herself appear nice. Meanwhile, it's been widely reported that Serena was out partying, and the TV host comments backlashing the president. The husband had to switch off the TV and advises her not to be too hard on herself because Serena is only a teenager who is enjoying her youth. Later, the president opens her knee to reveal a severe injury she sustained while in the service. On their journey to the G20 conference, the president and her Treasury Secretary, Joanna, talk about how to persuade the majority of other countries of the advantages of adopting digital currency to facilitate agricultural commerce. Joanna informs her that most of these men would never agree with her, and Danielle has to remind her that 100 years ago, neither of them was able to vote, but here they are. Moments later, the vice president calls, and the CIA director arrives for a security briefing. They allege that they have assembled special U.S. security forces to fortify the G20 conference venue. Although she is wary of having private security contractors, the guys assure her that she is safe and has nothing to worry about. Rutledge and his men arrive in a helicopter somewhere in the highlands of South Africa to meet with a former army comrade. Minutes later, the president and her staff arrive at the Grand Diamond, a special hotel set up for the G20 summit, together with different high-security personnel to ensure that the event runs as planned. Rutledge, with the assistance of a security agent, was able to infiltrate the event. This special force is known as the Paxton Special Forces. Manny, the president's special security detail, conducts a standard search of the ballroom for any potential threats. After instructing members of his crew to wait in a secluded area, the president and her husband Derek accompany her to the ballroom. Joanna then quickly introduces Danielle to some of the world's most powerful presidents and prominent figures, including the new head of the International Monetary Fund, a woman regarded as the most powerful after the U.S. president, Elena. Meanwhile, Eddie, in his corner, begins directing his guys on their next move as they begin to remove the important people in the room from their security and the press. After ensuring that they are separated and that the doors only open with their key cards, as well as deactivating the Cape Town Wi-Fi towers, a man posing as a meal server and one of Rutledge's men swiftly puts on a gas mask as they enter the elevator. The gas is swiftly discharged, and a special unit arrives outside the facility to surround the exit perimeter, ensuring no one enters or exits. Eddie then initiates a code that activates a briefcase hidden in a compartment in the room of the U.S. Special Forces, which swiftly detonates, killing all of the guys. The explosion can be heard throughout the hotel, and the security team rushes to action, but none of their key cards work. They soon suffocate and lose consciousness due to the earlier gas release. Derek wants to go retrieve his children, but security tries to stop him, and he insists on getting them first. The president attempts to rush to get her family, but Special Agent Manny stops her, stating that her safety is his top priority and that she is secure with him. After ensuring that everything is proceeding as planned, Eddie turns around and kills his companion, revealing that he is in charge of the attack on the world leaders. Minutes later, a special security unit enters the ballroom, and everyone is reassured that they are safe until one of the men shoots a security man protecting Russia's president. Seeing this, everyone flees for cover as a gunfight breaks out between the president's personal protection and the special forces. Taking advantage of the confusion, Danielle and UK Prime Minister Everett flee to safety. Danielle takes a fire extinguisher, and Manny must shoot it in order to save the others who are following them as they exit the ballroom. When they hear someone approaching the children's room, they rush to hide and are held at gunpoint. Derek enters the room and kills the security guard. Demetrius pushes the bad guy, allowing Derek to quickly overpower and murder him. Back with the president, Manny is still seeking for a way out, and he realizes that the only way out is through the kitchen. However, Eddie's soldiers are still present. As they bicker on what to do next, the Korean First Lady, Han Ming-seo, discovers a gap in the wall beside them and passes through. Seeing this, the surviving members quickly join her, and they arrive safely in a laundry area. Eddie soon enters the ballroom, and his Special Forces squad applauds him on his progress. One of them reports that the US President and the UK Prime Minister are missing. He instructs one of his accomplices to grab two men and locate them immediately. Down in the washing room, everyone makes a quick formal introduction, with Danielle thanking the Korean First Lady for her prompt settlement of the current crisis. Manny prepares them for the escape routes, but Agent Manny points out that Eddie's men may have used the same route because they've closed all the exits, and he suspects this is an inside operation. Prime Minister Everett advises Danielle to hunt for a means to contact the Pentagon or a rescue squad, but she warns that they will take too long to arrive, so the only option is to travel underground and get to the Beast, a special military vehicle disguised as a regular car meant to transport the US President. Meanwhile, Serena is fastening a rope to the balcony so they may escape. Soon, there is a knock on the door, and it is one of the security guys posing as room service. To get to the other side safely, the family must quickly climb around the building's balcony. Eddie declares in a live broadcast that they are not terrorists, but rather folks who are fed up with the government depriving citizens of their human rights and wealth. He announces that in a few minutes, he would release a video documenting the government's deception and fraud. He goes on to explain that the President of the United States would soon issue a currency that will govern where, when, and how each individual spends their money. His suggestion to everyone is to invest in the cryptocurrency that he will unveil shortly. He threatens American special forces and military personnel around the world that if they try to stop him or get too close to the G20 summit, he would execute every foreign leader attending, including the US President. He then asks each world leader to walk forward in front of a camera and recite some printed phrases. He then addresses the South Korean president first, who immediately notices that the words are a pangram. This allows them to develop a deepfake AI that appears to say whatever Eddie desires. The South Korean president refuses to speak the lines, so Rutledge cuts off his ear as a warning to anyone who does not obey. With this, world leaders emerge one after the other to say the words. Soon, the Pentagon receives a video of the German secretary saying that the new currency will be used to track every individual's movements. They rapidly grasp what is going on, as several such videos appear all over the media, spreading bogus information. Following this, individuals begin to worry as they withdraw their local currency to invest in cryptocurrency, sparking a global economic crisis while the price of Bitcoin in their wallets continues to rise. Back with the president, the elevator isn't working, and it appears that Rutledge's men are approaching. She discovers an opening in the elevator's roof, and as they ascend, she quickly shuts the patch before they can see them. As the group approaches the elevator and begins to descend, the Prime Minister's hand strikes an iron, causing him to scream in pain. This commotion compels the men to stop the elevator and listen for movement. Danielle climbs on the men and attacks them. They shoot one with Manny's help, but the others suffocate the president and her agent. The remaining henchman uses a rope to restrain the person holding the president, allowing her to get a gun and kill him. She also kills the one fighting Manny. As they make their way to the underground, Danielle discovers some of the hotel staff being held captive and wishes to assist. Agent Manny says that they must make it to the Beast since her safety is the most important consideration, but the president insists on protecting the hostages. She returns and retrieves a knife, which she throws at one of the men to distract them. Manny manages to wrestle one of the bad men to the ground and electrocutes him to death. Danielle, on the other hand, can knock out the second guy with a pan. Unfortunately, he wakes up seconds later and attempts to shoot the president, but Manny steps in to take the bullet while one of the hotel workers throws a knife, murdering the bad guy. Danielle seeks the hotel workers' help in finding her family and ensuring their safety after witnessing their combat capabilities. Derek brings the children to the building's roof and considers how to help the situation. They attempt to contact the outside world, but there is no network, indicating that the terrorists were able to broadcast their message. Serena suggests that she utilize some of their cable components to connect a secure server that she may use to transmit a message to the Pentagon. However, they are quickly discovered, and Derek is forced to block their path in order to give the children time to hide. They look around and don't see the youngsters hanging on the side of the building, so they only bring Derek with them. Inside the Pentagon, the vice president receives an email from Serena informing them that the president is now safe and that one of their agents is responsible for the attack on the world leaders. According to the news, the US military and other countries' forces have begun to send out troops to rescue world leaders at the G20 conference. To spice things up, Rutledge shoots the Australian Prime Minister, and the Korean president attempts to fight back but is cut and killed by Rutledge. Back with the president, the UK Prime Minister is impressed with how she has handled the situation thus far, and she tells a narrative about how she survived the war and became a hero by rescuing a boy who had lost his mother in a crossfire. They finally get to the beast after murdering the security and removing the cameras. They are about to depart when Rutledge calls and threatens her that if she doesn't return to the ballroom, he would kill her husband. After telling them this, she tells the others to proceed without her. Manny wakes up later and begins searching for the president. Without seeing her, he opens the car door and hops out. The kids are still hunting for a way out when they are apprehended by one of Rutledge's men. Fortunately, the hotel workers arrive just in time to rapidly confront and eliminate the bad guy. Danielle writes a note to her children expressing her love for them, and when one of the US agents arrives to pick up the president, she is surprised to learn that he is siding with the terrorists. Minutes later, the beast reappears, and as the agent holds the president at gunpoint, Manny quickly disarms him and slices his throat, killing him as the automobile breaks down at the last moment. Serena is able to contact her mother using the hotel staff's radio. After apologizing to each other, Danielle instructs her children to find a way out of the hotel, and Serena offers to assist by hacking the key cards, allowing the local armed forces to penetrate the building without Rutledge noticing. With this, the president tells the other world leaders to drive out of the building, where the beast can protect them, but the Korean First Lady insists on finding her husband. When the squad notices the presidential vehicle leave the facility, they are immediately alerted and unleash a hail of gunfire on the beast. However, it makes it through the road unscathed. Rutledge, relieved that they have made it out, orders his soldiers to deploy a rocket launcher on them. The first missile is released, but only hits the vehicle's side. The guys guarding the gate perimeter instantly open fire in an attempt to halt the beast. Rutledge orders his soldiers to fire the last missile as they approach the target. With this, the missile is released and strikes the car, forcing it to flip numerous times in the air before landing on its four wheels. The hotel crew discovers a rocket launcher hidden in one of the hotel compartments and launches it at Rutledge and his men. The UK Prime Minister can send a message to US authorities instructing them to form a small strike force and enter through a rear door, while Serena creates an opening for them to rescue the other world leaders. Danielle has to carry Manny on her shoulders to the control room, where he may turn on the lights and assist her in moving around the hotel rooms. Once entering the main area, Manny turns out the lights, giving Danielle the advantage as she quickly dispatches the soldiers with an explosion followed by some good tactical shooting. After killing the men, a large man exits the elevator, and she realizes she has ran out of ammunition. Now she must battle hand to hand. At first, the huge guy has the upper hand, but Danielle uses her gun to choke him till he dies. She asks Manny to turn back the lights, and for a few seconds, she believes he is dead before the lights come back on. Meanwhile, a group of local special forces has already entered the building. Serena and the others make it to the computer room, where she kills the guards and unlocks the back doors for the special forces. Looking via the webcam, she notices a bad guy attempting to sneak up on the president and knocks him out, making herself appear cool in front of her children. The scenario then turns to the special forces entering the ballroom and engaging Rutledge's men in a gunshot exchange, only to discover that the US president is not present. Rutledge, frustrated that his crew is not making progress and is yet to locate the president, leads Derek and the Secretary of Treasury to the meeting room. Danielle enters the room, and Rutledge demands her to read the pangram if she wishes to keep her husband alive. Left with little choice, she reads the phrases, and her voice and face are rapidly combined with the AI to spread fake information on social media, destroying the US economy and tripling cryptocurrencies, making Rutledge and his men wealthy. Danielle assures him that people will never believe the video, but Rutledge laughs and says it doesn't matter now because he knows her well. He reminds her that he was present during the Battle of Fallujah. He was in the front caravan cleaning bombs when an explosion intended for the US team killed two of his brothers. She saved a child who was injured by the explosion she caused, and now everyone considers her a hero, but he sees her as a fraud. He promises to expose the world how false she and her propaganda are. Danielle couldn't take it any longer and fired back, stating he'll never get out of this predicament alive. Rutledge pulls out his gun and shoots Derek. Danielle quickly tackles him, and they begin fighting. Danielle manages to knock the crypto wallet away from him, and it lands close to Joanna, who picks it up. Rutledge wins the fight and prepares to kill the president, but Han Ming Seo stabs him from behind. Danielle checks on her husband, and thanks to the bulletproof vest, he is still alive. When Danielle turns around, she discovers that Rutledge has left. She then approaches Joanna, revealing that she was aware she had hidden the cryptocurrency wallet when it fell earlier and is disappointed that she had to betray her country. Joanna reveals that she had toiled her entire life to be in her current position as President of the United States, only for Danielle to derail her goals. Danielle hits her and takes the pocketbook from her, reminding her that she was elected president. Rutledge discovers Serena and kidnaps her, holding her as a hostage as he boards a helicopter for departure. He is going to take off when Danielle appears with a gun pointed at him. Rutledge grins maniacally, believing he has won, until Danielle shows him the cryptocurrency wallet. Recognizing he's been caught, he aims his gun at her daughter and offers to sell her for the cryptocurrency wallet. He forces her to down her gun, so she tosses the cryptocurrency at him. As he runs to get it, the wallet sinks beneath the mountain. Frustrated, he grabs his gun and begins shooting at the chopper. Because she is unable to maneuver the helicopter, they crash into the side of the ridge. Rutledge manages to grab the president, and while they battle, they nearly fall down the tall ridge. Serena hurriedly unties herself to assist her mother, but her kick has no effect on Rutledge, who pulls out his gun and prepares to shoot the young girl. Danielle has to drag him down with her, and both of them fall. Serena thinks her mother is gone, but when she looks out, she sees her hanging onto the crest. Serena helps her mother climb back up, but the helicopter is about to lose its grip and crash into the mountains, so the special team rushes in to help by wrapping a rope around the chopper, and with all of their strength, including that of world leaders, they are able to pull the chopper back to safety. Now that they are secure, the president moves forward with her plans for the G20 summit, while Joanna is imprisoned for her role as a terrorist accomplice to the US president. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.